Two of the most powerful wealth-building tools in history. One fits in your pocket, the other has a zip code. Stocks and real estate have minted more millionaires than almost anything else. But most people pick one, ignore the other, and wonder why they're not getting rich fast enough. So which one actually builds more wealth? Today we're breaking it all down. Returns, risks, effort, and which one makes more sense depending on where you are in life. Stay to the end because the answer might surprise you. Before we dive in, two quick things. First, everything in this video is for educational purposes only and is not financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. Always consult a qualified financial advisor before making any major money decisions. Second, this channel uses AI-generated voices and an AI avatar presenter for content creation. We believe in being upfront about that. All right, now let's get into it. Welcome to Compound Yield and Grow, where we make investing in personal finance actually make sense. If this is your first time here, consider subscribing. We publish a new video every week, and every one is built to give you a clearer picture of your financial future. Now let's get into it. First, let's talk about stocks, specifically index funds that track the broader market, like the S&P 500. Here's the headline number. Over the last 100 years, the US stock market has returned an average of about 10% per year before inflation, roughly 7% after inflation. That's not a cherry-picked good year. That's the long-run average across wars, recessions, and crashes. Now here's what that actually means in practice. If you invest $10,000 today and never touch it for 30 years, at a 10% average annual return, you'd end up with over $174,000. Put in $500 a month for those same 30 years, and you're looking at nearly $1 million from a $180,000 total contribution. That's the power of compound interest. And the best part? Stocks are incredibly passive. You don't get calls at 2 a.m. about a broken furnace. You don't deal with tenants. You just let it grow. Here's what makes stocks so appealing. Low barrier to entry. You can start with $1 through apps like Fidelity or Vanguard. High liquidity. Sell in seconds if you need cash. Diversification. One S&P 500 index fund gives you ownership in 500 companies. Truly passive. Set it and forget it. And tax advantages. IRAs and 401ks let your money grow tax-deferred or tax-free. The downside? Volatility. The market can drop 30, 40, even 50% in a crash. And staying invested through that requires real discipline. Now let's talk about real estate. Specifically rental properties, since that's where the wealth building really happens. Real estate has historically appreciated about 3 to 4% per year on average nationally, which sounds worse than stocks, right? But here's where real estate gets interesting. Leverage. When you buy a $300,000 rental property, you might only put down $60,000. The bank covers the rest. If that property appreciates 4% in year one, it goes up $12,000 in value. But you only invested $60,000 of your own money. That's a 20% return on your investment, not 4%. That's leverage. On top of appreciation, rental properties generate monthly cash flow, and the IRS lets you depreciate the property. Here's what makes real estate powerful. Leverage amplifies returns far beyond what you put in. Monthly cash flow from rent creates income now. Tax advantages, depreciation, mortgage interest deductions. Tangible asset, something physical you control. Inflation hedge. The downsides are real. It requires capital to get started. It's illiquid, and it requires time, management, and dealing with the unexpected. Let's put them side by side. Returns. Stocks average roughly 10% annually. Real estate targets 8 to 15% total return on actual cash. Effort. Stocks, near zero. Real estate, high. Liquidity. Stocks, sell in seconds. Real estate, takes weeks or months. Starting capital. Stocks, as little as $1. Real estate, typically $20,000 to $100,000 or more for a down payment. Here's the bottom line. The best investors don't choose one, they use both. Stocks for passive growth, real estate for leverage and cash flow. There's no universal winner. The right answer depends on you, your capital, your time, your personality, and your goals. Just starting out with limited capital? Stocks are the clear winner. Have capital and want more control? Real estate becomes very attractive. Hate volatility? Real estate might suit you better. Hate dealing with people and problems? Stick to stocks. Landlording is never fully passive. Research consistently shows that truly wealthy people don't pick one, they do both. They max out accounts with index funds and build a real estate portfolio on the side. Two people, both starting at age 30 with $60,000 to invest. Person A puts $60,000 into an S&P 500 index fund and adds $500 a month. At 10% average returns, they retire at 60 with approximately $1.4 million. Person B uses $60,000 as a down payment on a $300,000 rental property. They build roughly $700,000 in equity and collect significant net cash flow. Neither path is wrong. Both paths work. The worst path is doing nothing. Quick reminder before we go. Everything in this video was educational only, not financial advice. And this video was produced using AI-generated voices and visuals. Now, if this video gave you a clearer picture of how to build wealth, hit the like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people. Subscribe for a new investing video every week. And drop a comment below. Are you a stocks person, a real estate person, or both? I read every comment.